Well, hey there, hi there. It's what day is it? I don't even know what day it is anymore. Ever since I've been stuck in bed ill. Uh, I think it's it's Wednesday, Thursday, somewhere around there in between. No, seriously. Hi there, folks. Zane. Thank you for tuning in to Man with the Show on Q to Cast TV. First of all, just want to thank you all for being there. You guys, you're continuing to watching my programming. Some of you who are new are catching my back episodes, which are great. That's great too. We do apologize. We've had a couple of multiple situations going on with the network. We're trying to resolve it all together. First thing first is that my health issues come first, and that's what I'm trying to resolve on there. So we've had to slow down just a bit, just to keep myself going there. But as they say, every day I'm getting better and better, better, better. It's coming from an old Clouseau hit, if you remember. The Pink Panther with the boss would be like, "I'm getting better every day." But I just want to sit down and rap a little bit. And like I said, thanks to you all on there, subscribing. Welcome to new subscribers also as well. Thank you if you've shared this out to everybody. If my thoughts seem to get a little off on there, please forgive me on that. My medications are just like sometimes they slow me down just a little bit. But nonetheless, I just want to go over a couple things. Just rap with you guys. There's a lot of shit going on out there. That I haven't been able to talk about. First thing off the bat, the Disney service has started out, and holy crap! I mean, and I said it once and I said it again. I can call this pretty much on this because basically, we saw it years ago when Netflix started out. Not as bad as what Disney is going through right now, but you got to be prepared for some of this stuff because basically, you sit there and say to yourself, "Hey, putting out a streaming site. We're going to get all these people to line up. I mean, they got 10 million subscribers, I think, the first day, which is, hey, I'm happy. They're good. They're doing on that. Netflix got 150 million subscribers. It's going to take a little bit for them to get there. First day off the bat, you had a lot of problems. You couldn't log in. They took your money, but you couldn't log in on there. You couldn't watch some of the stuff on there. The other problem a lot of people had was that some of the stuff that they showed on the screen there wasn't available yet. I mean, I know somebody was saying on some of the touch tone stuff, wasn't even available. I was shocked on that. They had some of the older Disney stuff in there, Disney movies, but the touch tone stuff not available till next year. That was like Adventures in Babysitting. That was like one big thing that I think a couple of people were talking about online. They wanted to see it. It's there. The clip is there, but you can't watch it till 2020. And a couple other things on there. Now the other half is also we've been hearing is that some of the movies, some of the Simpsons episodes and stuff like that have been edited. A lot of the stuff, when you look at it and you say like, well, like the Michael Jackson thing, Simpsons, they took out. And I was like, why? Because he went through all that litigation and stuff like that. I mean, the guy wasn't found guilty. No matter what anybody tells you on that, he's gone through several situations on that, and the guy died finally. And you look at the situation, and you have that what was it called? Finding Netherland or whatever, that really, really obnoxious HBO documentary that just really just pissed off a lot of people. I know, what is it, Rageaholic? Was it Razor Fist? He had on the niece and nephew of Michael Jackson on, and they said it was totally all bull. And they're working on a documentary that's going to show the evidence and stuff like that. That supposedly, to the nature of that, the nature of the beast, as they would say. But you don't need to remove an episode. I mean, technically, Michael only did a couple lines in there. The rest was voiced by somebody else. Michael Jackson, someone impersonating Michael Jackson. I mean, what do you need to take off the Michael Jackson episode of The Simpsons? That was a great episode. And then there's some episodes that were edited on there. Obviously, we'll never see Song of the South on there. Why can't we see that? People say, well, it's going to be racist. I was like, well, did you see it to see what it is, how they portrayed the situation on there? It is a Disney movie. What was the other one? The Dumbo, supposedly they were removing that song, the song on there with the crows. Supposedly that's going to be, and that was a great song on there. That was a great little musical on there. I think that was like one of the best things in the Dumbo movie on there. They want to remove that, because small amount of people think, oh yeah, it's a racist. But it kind of shocks me, when you hear that when they call something racist, or it was made many years ago, obviously. One of the other things also, I know all the propaganda, World War II propaganda films are not going to be on that Disney show. If you've never seen the World War II, holy crap, those are funny as hell. I think YouTube you can find it on. It's basically during the Second World War, the U.S. government had hired Disney to do a lot of these propaganda films, cartoons for the war effort on there. I mean, Disney wasn't the only one. I mean, there were a lot of others. I mean, if you ever heard of Private Snafu, Private Snafu is like one of the funniest stuff you ever see on there. Warner Brothers did a couple of them as well. I mean, so it's like, a lot of animators were creating at that time period, were creating stuff for the war. That was the war period. Hey, a lot was going on there. But not all, you was expecting onto that. The final nail of the coffin hit last week. That what was it? ZDNet, I think, put it out, and a lot of other news websites have started putting this out. That the Disney site got hacked, and thousands of accounts are being sold on the dark web. I mean, really, your first week out, holy crap, the first week out, you guys are out, and you get hacked. Who's at the central center that just basically is sitting there, where the main hub of this whole system, and did not realize that they had a freaking, a really open back door that someone could just jump right on in to this. I mean, that is just, oh God. I mean, how's that going to affect the whole situation on there? I mean, I haven't heard yet if Disney has given a response or anything of that nature. When I recorded this, basically, it's just really insane that this has happened. But then again, this is the things I talk about when they're talking about the streaming wars, and they keep putting down Netflix. They keep knocking down Netflix. They say no, Netflix is crap. They're not going to make it through this. They're not going to do well with this. Basically, it's just not going to work out for them. You got to look at the whole thing. Netflix has been around for quite some time now. They've pretty much cemented their place on the internet. Everybody else, whether it's Apple, whether it's HBO Max, Netflix and or all these other companies, even Disney. They're just starting out. I mean, hell, Sony has more experience on their system because they've had that free Crackle site. If they wanted to make it into a bigger site, they can do it. They're able to do it, and they would have less issues. When you roll it out, you're rolling out a new streaming site. Roll it out, slowly. Don't try to outbest everybody. Roll it out properly. You'll get your people on there. I mean, when you have a site like Tubi TV, which is a great, if you guys want a great site to watch movies on and TV shows and stuff like that, Tubi TV. It's free. There are commercials. That's what's paying for the free on there, and they're really, really good. They're really, really good. I mean, I watch it pretty much almost every day. I'm watching something on there. It's TUBI TV. If you look on there, basically, in fact, if you have a smart TV, you can put the app on the smart TV. You can watch it on your tablet, your phone. And there's a lot of great stuff on there. I mean, there's even Dances with Wolves is on there as well. So just to give you a little hint, you got Dances with Wolves on there, Dog the Bounty Hunter's on there, Space 1999. I don't know if The Prisoner's still on there because I used to watch The Prisoner on there. What else was on there? Oh yeah, they just got Beast Wars. And they already have Beast Machine, so they have pretty much, I believe, and I have to look at it again, they have the whole entire Beast War series to the finale in the Beast Machine series on there. And if you haven't watched that, that's pretty darn good. That was a pretty darn good series. Really, really good storyline, especially when they got into the Generation 1 story. Not to give anything away, it just if you haven't seen this yet, somehow they're in during the Beast Wars. There is an interaction with the original Ark ship that crash landed on Earth in the prehistoric past. And basically, there were a lot of major issues that had to be resolved, or time itself would have been ripped apart. What we know, Generation 1 would not exist. The War of the Decepticons and the Autobots would not have existed on there. So it's a really, really good story series on there. If you haven't caught it, Beast Machines was okay. There were a lot of issues, and I didn't like how it ended on there, but it was okay. It was good to watch. The music is really good on there. How they did the techno music that they used for the series on the battle scenes, those were always very, very good. But getting back, I mean, it's like, oh yeah, Stargate, the animated series, is on there as well too. If you haven't caught that, if you never knew there was one, Stargate had an animated series. Had nothing to do with any of the movies, TV series on there. It kind of deflected off a bit on storyline, so some things were changed around a little bit for the animated series. I'm still waiting for Highlander, the animated series, to come back on there. That was also very, very good, but it's not on there. I think they have was the TV series on there? Yeah, I think the TV series was on Tubi. But, when you look at that, you look at the whole situation. Oh, yeah, also, before I forget, to knock off on Tubi. Tubi's got a lot of great of the old classics, the old 50s classics, a lot of Roger Corman stuff. 20 million miles to Earth. The astonishing she creature. There's like a lot of these old classics that are in there that are really, really good on there. My wife has been watching them with me because some of the ones she hadn't seen yet, like 20 million miles to Earth. She never saw that, and she loved it last night. We were watching it last night, and it was really she really, really enjoyed it. But nonetheless, these are the sites that are working very well for a lot of these, and you expect to come to Disney, which is a big corporation the way it is. They handle so much computer information back and forth But yet, someone come in their back door and boop, take out information from their system. I mean, it's not saying that any corporation is safe from hackers, but if you just put up your site for the first time and they already nailed you on that, that's an issue in itself, you know? And you begin to wonder what more problems can happen to Disney, because they're going through a lot of the parks problems. They're going through um, basically some of the rides are not working properly, attendance records, prices, hotel problem issues. I mean, there's so much going on, and it's just you just wonder what's going to happen next, you know. But nevertheless, comment below and you tell me. And do you have the site? Are you enjoying it, or do you think it's not worth it? Right now, for me, not worth it. I'm not getting it as of right now. Looking at some of the stuff through someone else's account, it's not worth it right now. I mean, there's a couple things I would like to see again, but it's not worth the money on there. I'm very happy with my Amazon Prime and Tubi TV and Netflix. I do have Hulu. Yes, I do have Hulu, which I hear there's going to be an increase on that as well now. And there's like one or two other free sites I have on my system that hey, the only problem I have, and it just really pisses me off, because I talk about Tubi TV has those old 50s classics. There's not a lot of places you can go to see these things, to see these old movies. Now, you say, well, you got Turner Classic Movies. Yeah, but it's just like the assortment is just very unusual, especially in the horror and science fiction sites. The stuff comes and goes so quickly. You say, oh yeah, I'll watch that tomorrow. And then next thing you know, it's gone. They don't hang on to stuff too long. And I don't know what's with that. I don't know if that's with the main corporation, because of the licensing and stuff like that goes on with this, and they don't do too well with it, or they just basically just pulling it like Disney does and just puts it away. If they own the particular movie. But I noticed, on some of the other sites, like for example, I think I mentioned this the last video I did. I was watching Netflix, and I saw they had Fantastic Planet on there with Leslie Nielsen, and also they had another movie, really really good Orson Welles movie with Edward G. Robinson, the Stranger. So on there, and I see a couple of other classics that are popping up on Netflix. But there's no, other than like the Criterion Collection, there's really not a real classics site that I've found. I mean, if you guys know one, let me know. And I'm talking legitimate. I'm not talking about crack site, on there. I'm talking about legitimate corporate, whether it's free, whether you have to pay for it, whether it's a Tubi TV type, Sony Crackle type, or if it's a Hulu, or if it's a Netflix type. I mean, that's what it needs, because there's a lot of great horror and classic films out there. And I was upset the other day. It is I cannot find, and I'm still looking for it. They could be remastering it. Earth versus the Flying Saucers. I only could find the colorized version of it. I mean, when did they colorize that? That's like sin right there. I had that on a film reel when I was a kid. My father had a projector, God rest his soul, and we used to watch it from the projector. My father used to put it up on the wall, and we used to watch this movie, and it was a great movie. I mean, it's Ray Harryhausen, motion effects, and it was really well done. and then somebody colorized it. It's like, oh my God, Jesus. Why would you colorize a classic like that? But now it's like you can't find it. But nonetheless, there's like a lot of these other films. Them. What else? War of the Worlds. I haven't seen War of the Worlds in a while. Even the TV series. I mean, yeah, there was a TV series. It was in when was it? The 80s or no, was it the 80s or the 90s? And basically, you had an episode with the ships. You had one episode that on there, but it was kind of, it went in an unusual direction on there. Adrian Paul came on the series on there, and a couple other people. That was well known at that time period for their act. That they were they used to do a lot of TV back then. Were on the show, and it was that basically the whole premise was that the aliens some of them did survive because they said at the end that diseases had killed them, but no, they basically put them into a coma sense, and now, like years later, they're coming out of that coma, and they're trying to kickstart the war again. And it was a decent series. It was a real decent series. A good concept to the nature. But like I said, the War of the Worlds is another one. I'm trying to think here. It came from Beneath the Sea. I see that on Prime on there. You have to pay for it. I'm surprised that's not free. A lot of the 50s ones that are really, really good, I'm surprised that they're not on a free service on there. So I think that's what someone needs to do next. Do a classics. And I'm talking about, you only go as high as the 1970s. It's 1970s and down. Nothing above 1979. That's it. That's your cutoff. Because these days you go to, American Movie Classics. You got movies on there from only 20 years ago. They consider, the classics on there, which, I can understand if they were really popular. But I think is that we have to separate what the true, real classics are, Then, nevertheless, you get Criterion Collection. Just watch what you can on that. But like I said, comment below and let us know, how you feel about this. I mean, like I said, if you guys know of a classic site, and like I said, not a hack site or anything of that nature, a real true site, let me know in the comments below. Now, as far as our next show, depending on how I've been going, it's one thing, if you see I'm a little erratic on there, I try to push these things up. I still have appointments with medical on there. That's coming soon on there, so at least find out my health issues and stuff like that. And then, like I said, we're dealing with the other half, which is all the new issue guidelines and stuff like that from YouTube. And like this COPA thing. This COPA thing is like, it's. We're trying to figure that one out with some of the shows that we do have here. We might have to do a couple of tweaks on certain things just to keep it within range on there. But like I said, we're working on that as well. So that's another wrench in the works. And like I said, we're trying to keep things going as best we can. So until our next video. I can't say when. It could be tomorrow. It could be, like I say, once I get started and I'm able to get started going, my energies are very, very low. I'm in bed most of the time. If I get going, hey, we'll get a great show out there. We'll get something mixed. I mean, I was surprised I got going today. So, I'm glad that you're here watching it as well. And, hopefully we'll just keep paying attention on there. Get our notifications and stuff like that, and you'll know when our next one's up. I'm pushing for Monday as being the next, so cross fingers on that one. I'll say that right now. Pushing for Monday, and let's see what happens. So until the next video, thank you for tuning in to Man with a Show on CutyCast TV. Have yourself a good week. Enjoy the weather out there. The holidays are coming next week. We got Thanksgiving next week. So we'll see what happens. And just in case if I don't speak to you until then, have yourself a good Thanksgiving. And we'll see you on the next.